This week has been a very, very busy week, and that has led me to the topic of this video today. Welcome to Home and Haven Farms. My name is Brittany, and today we are discussing the truth about the teen phase of having livestock guardian dogs. So for those of you who are new, we have two livestock guardian dogs whose names are Jupiter and Mercury. Jupiter and Mercury are just over a year old, and they are 3/4 Great Pyrenees and 1/4 Akbash. So they're considered Akbashnese. Kind of sounds like a concentration camp name. Up until recently, our guys have actually been out in the field, in the pasture and paddocks with their sheep. But recently the boys have reached sexual maturity. So they have figured out their size and how big they are, and instead of staying with their sheep, they have decided to expand their territory, hot bar fences, all of them, and work their way outward to mark their territory. Hi, Bubba's.
Hi, I love your smile. Hi, Bubba's.
Many livestock guardian dogs are rehomed because people are unprepared and not ready for this type of breed. And it's usually when their sexual maturity begins kicking in when they start roaming. It's usually when that sexuality starts kicking in when they get really playful or may divert from behaviors that they've been displaying up until that point. So I just wanted to make a video so that everybody knows what to expect when they're getting a livestock guardian dog. These dogs are a totally different kind of dog. They are more than just a pet, and you can absolutely be loving with them, but they're clever in ways that a lot of people may not expect. Put it in there. Just hold it for me if you don't mind. Thank you. There you go. There you go. Good job. All right, I'm gonna start turning it off. So this week, our livestock guardians have been hopping the electric fence on its tallest setting, which is, I think, about 4 foot. Mercury hopped it like a unicorn, and Jupiter dared to take the shock. He went through it and under it, and I think the dogs have figured out that if they tuck their nose, they can force the fuzziness of their head real quickly and the rest of their body through the hot wire. It seems that when the boys settled into their sexual maturity, something flipped a switch, and they really showed us that it doesn't matter what fence that we have up, they are going to bust through it. This is our Great Wall of Kansas, Great Redneck Wall of Kansas. Some people do use shock collars and invisible fences. We were already budgeting in a new perimeter fence. It's just the boys ended up figuring out how to get out before that new perimeter fence was installed. So as the boys were getting out, we tried everything. We tried different levels of hot wire. We tried securing different parts of the fences. And it doesn't matter what it was, the boys were able to get out. In order to keep us from any legal repercussions, in order to keep the dogs safe and our neighbors' livestock, such as their birds specifically, we have started using different training methods. Since these guys were bred for independent thinking and decision making, we really have had to give them incentive to stay in the yard. Mercury. Last night I heard one of them whining, and I woke up It was about 3:30 in the morning and a storm was rolling in, and Mercury busted out and Jupiter was trying to get out with him. I went out front. When I saw nothing, I came back to check for the dogs, and both of them were out of the pen then, and all I could hear were coyotes. And amazingly enough, the dogs came back. It ended up storming and hailing, and as soon as they finished checking on their sheep, they came back to try to put themselves back in the pen. So the good thing about these dogs is that when you bond with them and when they bond with your livestock, they will come back to them. So that's the good thing about them getting out, is that they will come back. So in order to incentivize our guys, I have gone the extra mile and given them as many high ticket treats as possible. Those are our good boys. Whoops, 1, 2 tortilla strips this time. Livestock guardian dogs are beautiful, beautiful creatures. They are so smart, and they are more closely related to a wolf than a domestic dog. And dogs and wolves didn't become man's best friend through fear and aggressive violence. Wolves and dogs became man's best friend through a symbiotic relationship where both of them receive something in return. Our guys don't know that they can't just freely roam without risk to themselves. So it's our job to contain them, and that's exactly what we're doing. We are trying to incentivize them to stay, but ultimately I wanted to make this video because we were not expecting the boys to kind of flip a switch when they began sexually maturing. We did not think that they would bust through solid fence that is taller than me. And even though they didn't climb that one, they climbed another section. Now, as livestock guardian dogs mature into their adulthood, they calm down a little bit more, but they are very high energy dogs. They do realize, whoa, I'm big. They do mature and realize they can go and help their family too. And if they really make their mind up, nothing will stop them. So I wanted to make this video just to be real honest. We have not been able to have much rest this last week and a half or so, and we're having to pivot and go about things in a different way so that it's a win-win situation for everybody. I also want to mention that a lot of people think you can just get a livestock guardian dog, and just because they were bred into really good genetics, really strong genetics, means that they will just know what to do. If you just stick your dog in a field, they are not going to listen to you when it matters the most. They're not going to come to you if you have to call them back. They're not going to listen at all because they're used to being on their own. The only way that we have been able to contain our dogs is through our bond and through loving them and creating a relationship of trust. These dogs, they can get out of this fence. It's maybe about 6 foot tall, the typical perimeter, not the extended perimeter. But these dogs, they can get out whenever they want. So ultimately, we have to be diligent in creating a bond, creating a sense of trust, so that if these dogs go, they will come. And ultimately, we're part of their pack too, not just the sheep. So thank you guys so much. This is why we didn't have a video last week, is we were busy constructing the Great Wall of Kansas. And we finally got to a good place where we could communicate that without having to pivot 24/7. So I wanted to share with you guys what's worked for us. Honestly, the bond has been the thing, really incentivizing the dogs to stay put until we can get a perimeter fence up and going that is more solid and structural. Those were the things that we learned as our livestock guardian dogs continue growing. These are the ways that we have had to pivot in order to make it work. And I hope that this video inspires you to dedicate yourself to your dog if you're considering a livestock guardian dog. Be willing to try new methods, be willing to try new things, and make them part of your family. If you guys like these videos, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. That's always wonderfully supportive for our channel. And consider subscribing and sticking around if you liked everything. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.